Hey guys, I'm George, the nice pretty gentleman, and it's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content. Today's video is going to be about some older clones that at this point in time have been around for a while, but in my opinion are still worthy of being checked out. They're still pretty good. And today's list contains a total of 7 of them. Let's start this video off with a few fragrances that contain the note of tobacco. I really like the note of tobacco, especially in some fragrances, and I've included a total of 3 fragrances that have more or less a strong note of tobacco. The first one comes from the brand of Paris Corner. It's called Charuto Mysterious Tobacco, and of course, as you can probably guess by the name of this fragrance, this is a clone of Mystery Tobacco from Carolina Herrera. And it was one of those early clones of Mystery Tobacco at the time that we didn't have that many options when it comes to Mystery Tobacco clones, and at the same time this is actually a very decent clone of Mystery Tobacco. Just like the original fragrance, this has some spices, has some sweetness, has the note of tobacco, which is sweet and doesn't feel challenging at all. And to my nose, this has always felt like a slightly fresher take on the Mystery Tobacco scent profile. But it's a nice fragrance and it's a very easy to wear tobacco based scent. I have a soft spot for the original fragrance, and Mysterious Tobacco, Charuto Mysterious Tobacco from Paris Corner is a pretty good option, at the same time inexpensive option for those of you who like the original scent but don't want to spend the money that it costs. It's quite an expensive fragrance because it's from their private line, Carolina Herrera private line. Good quality, good performance, especially after some maceration. It's not a beast, but definitely well above average, and all that again for a very affordable price. The next one that I've included in today's video comes from the brand of Armaf, and it's called Armaf Hunter Killer. It's one of the ugliest bottles that I have in my collection, but at the same time I have a real soft spot for the fragrance itself. This is not like a straight up clone of anything, but this will remind you a lot of Mancera's Red Tobacco. It will also remind you a little bit probably of L'Homme Ideal Extreme from the brand of Guerlain. It's like a mix of those two original scents. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit less obnoxious compared to the original fragrance from the brand of Armaf, from the brand of Mancera, excuse me. Like a slightly more wearable version of Red Tobacco, while it has a bit of fruity sweetness. There's a sort of a cherry note in this fragrance, or the combination of notes that come across like a cherry note that also may remind you of L'Homme Ideal Extreme. And again, now that I sprayed this one, I really like the scent of Hunter Killer. It was a good fragrance. I really liked it when it was initially launched, and like 2 years down the road I still like this one a lot. Again, I have a bit of a soft spot for this one. It didn't get the recognition that I think it deserves, because this is a very affordable fragrance, a very cheap fragrance, which smells very nice and also offers a really strong performance. And again, the only problem with this one is the really ugly bottle, but apart from that, this is a real hidden gem from the brand of Armaf. It was a hidden gem when it was released, and it's still a hidden gem 2 years down the road, and definitely I think it deserves more attention. And the last tobacco-based fragrance that I've included in today's video that has a strong tobacco note, although it's not exactly the main note in this fragrance, comes from the brand of Maison Alhamra, and it's called Cassius. And this, of course, is a clone of Parfum de Marly's Carlisle, and it's surprisingly good. I've always said this, I have not mentioned this fragrance in a while, but this is one of those very surprisingly good cheapies. At the time that I bought this fragrance, it was, I don't know, I got it for like 15 euros, or somewhere around that price point. And so it costs just a fraction of the price of the original, and scent-wise it will get you surprisingly close to Carlisle. I really like Carlisle as well, and this scent-wise is very similar. Of course, it lacks the quality, especially in the opening. This is a little bit harsh and all that stuff, but that's only normal because, again, it costs like less than a tenth of the price of the original fragrance, while at the same time also offering a very strong performance. It's not the same beast as the original one, but it's you know, again, one of the best things I think from the brand of Maison Alhambra. You'll get a tobacco note, you'll get some florals, you'll get some sweetness, some woods, a very masculine, slightly dark and really nice fragrance that I really like a lot. And I'm talking about the original, but again, Cassius will get you very close to that scent and all that for a fraction of the price. The next one comes from the brand of Lattafa. Let's change the pace a little bit and go to something that's a little bit challenging, but in a different way. The next one comes from the brand of Lattafa. It's one of my most favorite Lattafa fragrances. It's called Ishkal Shuk Gold, and this one smells a lot like Rosendo Mathieu No. 5. So it's a vanillic based fragrance that has a lot of suede leather, that has a lot of smokiness as well. It's sweet but not overly sweet, it's smoky but not overly smoky, it's leathery but not overly leathery. I'm a big fan of the original scent, and I really like Ishq Al Shuk Gold for a few reasons. First of all, it smells very similar to the original fragrance. The second thing is that it offers really nice quality, it's part of the Pride line. And the third thing is that this is a real beast when it comes to performance. Lasts for a very long time, projects really nicely, and I mean, I really can't falter this fragrance because it's that good. Now, if you're not familiar with Rosendo Mathieu No. 5, maybe you're familiar with Baby Cat. This in a way smells close to Baby Cat, but it's has less sweetness than Baby Cat itself, but this can also serve as an alternative for Baby Cat. Okay. Let's keep the vanillic theme going on, but with something a little bit different. It comes from the brand of French Avenue, and it's called Spectre Ghost. And this is not so old. I think it came around like an year ago, or maybe slightly over a year ago. Initially this was a very hyped up fragrance. Now I think it's past its peak of interest, but still I think it's a very nice scent. For those who don't know, this fragrance is a clone of Nishane Ani, one of my most favorite, if not the most favorite, original vanilla based fragrance. Basically here you have vanilla, you have benzoin, you have maybe a hint of some incense, and you have some citruses in the opening, and Spectre Ghost does all that almost perfectly well. To my nose, the only difference here is that it lacks a bit of the quality of that citrusy opening of the original fragrance. Apart from that, this smells very similar to Ani. Perfectly unisex in my opinion, offers really nice quality, it comes really uniquely packaged. I really like the bottle design. Also, performance is good. It's not a beast, but it will last you throughout the day, and all that for a fraction of the price of the original. Especially now, since this has passed its days of glory where it was really hyped up. I think Spectre Ghost is a very nice fragrance, and it deserves to be checked out even a year later after it was released. The next one comes from the brand of Zimaya, and it's called Shov Blend. And at one point in time, this also used to be a real hyped up beast, and this was hyped up as a great clone of none other than Kilian's Angel Share, but a clone with a twist. And I was one of those people who early on, maybe sort of hyped up this one as well, and I really like Shov Blend to this day. Now, this is not a one-to-one clone. This feels like a mix between Lattafa Alhamra and Angel Share, because this has a little bit stronger boozy note than you'll find in Lattafa Alhamra, but not as strong. The cognac note is not as strong as you'll find in Angel Share, and this also feels a little bit more spicy, slightly warmer, slightly more oriental than Angel Share itself. But it's a great fragrance from the brand of Zimaya, and probably to this day this is probably their best-selling fragrance and best-known fragrance. Nice quality, very strong performance, and all that for an affordable price tag. I'm going to finish off this video with another one of those personal favorite cheapies of mine, which is not that well known. It comes from the brand of Artal Kaleji, and it's called Sheikh Zayed Limited Edition. This fragrance is a clone of Dior Homme Intense, and it's a clone with a twist. It's a very interesting sort of a take on the original scent profile of Dior Homme Intense. Now, you'll get a lot of the same things that you'll get out of Dior Homme Intense, meaning the musks, the powdery, the waxy iris note, the sweetness, a bit of that chocolatey or cacao vibe that you'll find in the original fragrance, some of that pear sweetness as well. But this is like a slightly fresher take, like a slightly more fruity take as well. To my nose, I've always found Sheikh Zayed to have a slightly stronger pure note than the original fragrance, and also having a bit of a lightness to it, a bit of a freshness compared to Dior Homme Intense. It feels lighter, it feels a little bit more delicate in the air, but don't make a mistake, because this fragrance. This, my bottle at least personally, is also a very strong performer. It pretty much lasts the same amount of time as my original bottle of Dior Homme Intense. So getting a strong performance, you're getting a scent profile that's very close to the original fragrance with a few minor twists, a few minor differences. And when I picked up this bottle, now it's been a while, but I picked it up for less than 20 euros or something like that. At that price point, I think it's a real steal. I don't know if this is still available and how much it costs, but if it's available and if you can find it for that amount of money, around about 20-25 euros, this is a very interesting take on the Dior Homme Intense scent profile. Something a little bit different than Cayenne Classic, Camaro Homme Intense, while still being absolutely great and maybe even a little bit more versatile than the original fragrance as well. Sheikh Zayed limited edition from Art Al Khaliji. So guys, in today's video I showed you 7 slightly older clones that used to be hyped up at one point in time. Nowadays not too much people talk about them, but in my personal opinion they're still very good and they're still worthy of being checked out. I hope that you found this video interesting to watch. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.